All right, so why did I name this video Swings Got Smoked, Futures Got Funded? Well, out of the two games I'm playing right now, guys, two separate accounts, two different strategies, two different risk management approaches at the market, and I've been getting you guys hip on my swing. I've been getting you guys hip on my swing trading strategy now for going back 5 years now. It's how I've been able to build my swing trading accounts, is taking this kind of contraction to expansion model and playing the markets from that perspective. So, and at the same time, keeping an idea where the broad market's trading. So I know when the risk reward favors moves to the upside in the broad market. Now, guys, full transparency, I got absolutely smoked on my swings from the end of last week. OKLO and MP. When I left off last with you guys, I said I was swinging calls for next week. Absolutely fucking smoked, bro. That's kind of the way the market's been from a swing trading standpoint lately. It's really hard to get any type of traction since February. So, the lesson I learned from that trade, and it's a trade I'm still in, currently still trading OKLO, MP. I can't take you guys through login, show you all that shit, but I'm currently still in the position. We're down like 50% on both those swings. But the lesson from that, and I kept it in mind when I bought my position, lesson number one is buy time. So keep in mind that when you're buying options with Wednesday or Thursday, that they expire in less than 2 trading days. It doesn't give us a whole lot of time to, if that position moves against us, especially if we're buying at the money or even a little bit out of the money, any small minor move in the stock to the downside is going to wipe our position. So I bought 2 weeks out. Those positions got smoked on Thursday and Friday. Today they bounced, they recovered, they pretty much doubled in price, but we're still holding because the constructive nature of these setups is still intact, especially on something like MP. Yeah, we came down here and we swept liquidity at the 200-day, but we really kind of kept a higher low from that 2 week ago low, and we're still pretty constructive here with a tight range at the 50 and the 200-day moving averages. QQQ and SPY, big time moves today off of the liquidity that got swept. Big time strong bull moves with supporting volume. I don't know what the news was. Maybe the war, something got backed off. Somebody backed off in the war. Couldn't tell you guys. All I know is that we've yet to capitulate in this market. With all the news that's going on, we've yet to have any real death, any candles that spark fear in the markets, in the broad markets. So, yet to see any emotional candles until that trend starts to kind of change itself. Like, until we start to lose these major areas here on QQQ and SPY. Like, if we were to lose the 580 is a big line in the sand right now on QQQ. As long as we just kind of hold above those key areas in the chart, like 580 and 560, I don't see any reason we're not just prepping up for another move to all-time highs here. It's just been too choppy of a downside move, So that's my idea in the broad market. I'm not fading the trend right now of, I'm not jumping ship right now and throwing everything out saying we capitulate. But today's candle was very interesting, how we put in this engulfing price action and we really swept a lot of liquidity just to rebound back up to where we were. So MP, I'm still respecting risk. At this point, with these contracts, you probably don't want to see these contracts. You trade the chart. You don't trade the contracts, guys, is another big lesson on managing risk. Because I could have thrown out my position, just took an L when the market closed Friday because I was fucking pissed off that these things lost so much value. Or I could look at the setup and say, hey, yeah, we've dropped down about 4 or 5 points, but big picture, we're still in this contracted price range. So same with OKLO. This one, big rebound today of about 5 to 6%. I'd like to see us put in another couple candles just like this stop out a bunch of shorts, run this $70 level, and push up to 75. That's the trade thesis. It might take another week. I might be early to the party, guys, and I hate to say it, but at the same time, I understand that, and I don't have a position that's breaking the bank. If we are to come down and sweep today's low, take out more liquidity, I don't have a position that I'd be, blowing the account if that happens. But that also helps me because on those 2 days pullback like we had last 2 days, I'm able to just kind of hang on with the trade and let it kind of play itself out. I was not anybody's exit liquidity on this trade, at least not yet. And I'm just going to let this position kind of work itself out until come Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Then I'll look to roll into next week or potentially 2 weeks out. The other one we've got to talk about is NBIS. After a strong bull run from 20 up to 120, we're really moving, contracting sideways along the 50-day moving average and putting in somewhat of a constructive price shape as these lower lows have started to kind of turn into some higher lows. Kind of a flat top base right there at 110, call it what you want. This setup's got my eyes on it for potential continuation to the upside. What do I want to see? As you guys always know, I'd like to see us push up here, test 100, and then kind of move and trade sideways above the 50-day. Then look to get a skin in the game position with barely in the money, potentially right at the money calls, and let it work itself out for the next couple weeks to maybe month. That's the setups, guys. The last half of this is the futures funded section. And this is something I've been grinding on ever since I started trading futures about almost a year ago now when I really got into the game. Learning how to trade futures, looking at people's strategies, going online and back testing, and really getting a good idea as to how futures funding works. And if you guys aren't familiar with futures funding, you need to know 2 things about futures funding. Number 1 is you get an eval stage, which you treat your eval stage very much like, pass or fail. Like, don't waste time on an eval stage. You want to hit it, you want to move on to the next. But the second thing you need to know is your profit goals for your actual funded account. And so here we are. We're live. We're funded on one account, guys. We haven't really traded it because I'm waiting to get these other 2 evals passed to the funded stage. And we are right on the cusp. I'm only 230 or 270 bucks away from getting funded here, and I'm 500 bucks away from getting funded on this account. Did not force any trades today, but I got to think by tomorrow, probably by tomorrow morning, we'll be funded on all 3 accounts. We'll copy trade them, and we'll follow the Apex rules to get a funded payout, guys. That's all I got to say. I'm super excited to get these 3 accounts passed to funded. Once I do that, I will look to re-up on 3 more evals, and I'll take anything that's not an A+ setup, something that's an A or a B+, or maybe it's around news time. I'll take that setup on my evals and look to catch those up and pass some more accounts into the funded stage. If you guys want to learn more about my strategy, again, just subscribe, hit the like button, and look for the next videos to come out because we're going to be live trading these 3 fundeds. I'm going to show you guys how I aim for a $500 profit per day on those accounts, trading ES and NQ micro accounts. Peace, guys. Tomorrow's a no news Tuesday. Look for it to be kind of a light day in the markets, but also keep in mind, I'm still in these trades. They're losing. I'm letting them play out without blowing my account, without position sizes that blow my account. So that's all I got. Peace, guys. Talk to you either tomorrow or the day after, all right?